Revealed. How I overcame bankruptcy to secretly gift my sister her dream home in 30 days. In the heart of Maplewood, where the sun-kissed streets overflowed with the scent of warm pastries, Jack Hudson knew he had hit rock bottom. His beloved bakery, once a symbol of hope and joy, stood shuttered, the closed sign swaying gently in the wind. For 35 years, the taste of his buttery croissants and rich chocolate eclairs had brought smiles to countless faces. But now, as he stared at the peeling paint on the door, his dreams felt as cracked and empty as the building itself. Jack's world spun a whirlwind of debt, ailing health, and shattered relationships. His mother's frail health weighed heavily on his heart, her voice still echoing those lessons of resilience she'd instilled in him. "Keep going, no matter how hard it gets," she'd say with unwavering strength. Meanwhile, his sister, Emily, lingered on the fringes. A single mother of two, she was drowning in a tiny apartment, far from the life she'd once dreamed of, a life where they could flourish together. He sighed, feeling the tightness in his chest. If only they could bridge their distance. What if he could surprise her? What if, within 30 days, he could give her the dream home he knew she longed for? Jack's heart raced at the thought. But could he really pull it off? The whispers of judgment from acquaintances replayed in his mind, reminders of his failures that threatened to drown his hope. Still, a flicker of determination ignited within him. He grabbed his worn-out tool belt, the one he had always used for odd jobs before his bakery took over his life. With each lawn mowed and fence fixed, he poured love into a community that once adored him. Before long, familiar faces began to return, sharing stories of how his pastries had brightened their darkest days. "Jack, you aren't done yet. We need you back," they said, clapping him on the shoulder. Their voices filled him with a sense of purpose he thought he'd lost forever. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." As the calendar flipped to the final days, Jack poured his soul into restoring that vacant house, a once barren canvas he envisioned bursting with love. Memories of baking with Emily danced through his mind. The laughter, the flour fights, the way they baked their dreams into every dessert. With the help of unexpected allies, a retired contractor who knew the foundations inside out, a budding artist who painted the walls in vibrant shades, and even the local kids eager to lend a hand, Jack began to assemble a tapestry of hope. But as anticipation built, so did the weight of his choice. Could his promise bring them together? Or would it push them further apart? As he stood before the threshold of the house, doubts clouded his vision. The door creaked, threatening to reveal not just a home, but the culmination of everything he had fought for. Could he risk everything for a dream that might shatter the fragile connection he had with Emily? Just as the clock ticked down to the moment of truth, Jack faced a heart-wrenching decision, the kind that could change everything. And as time slipped away, he took a deep breath, unsure of whether the love he felt would ultimately bring them closer or drive them into the shadows of their past. The creaking of the old door echoed in Jack's mind as he stepped across the threshold into the dimly lit house he had poured his heart into. Dust danced in the sunlight filtering through the grimy windows, and he could almost hear Emily's laughter, as if it were stuck in the very air around him. He imagined her joy, her eyes lighting up as she stepped inside this freshly polished dream. But anxiety tugged at his insides. Every brush stroke, every nail he hammered in felt both like a victory and a burden. He had wanted to do this for her. He had wanted to show her that he could still make magic happen, even after losing everything. But what if she didn't want the life he imagined for her? What if his efforts only reminded her of their struggles? Jackson's heart raced as he walked through the rooms, each serving as a reminder of how far he had fallen. The living room was painted a warm yellow, accented by a cozy fireplace, a perfect place for winter nights. The kitchen swelled with a gentle blue that called to mind the joyous cooking sessions they'd had as kids. Flashes of their past surrounded him, the smell of their mother's cooking, the sounds of their family laughter. As he looked out the window to the small backyard, he pictured Emily's children playing there, their laughter chasing away shadows of worry. Just then his phone buzzed, jolting him out of his daydream. It was Emily checking in. "Hey Jack, how are you doing? Everything okay?" Her concern seeped through the screen and pierced his heart. He sighed, glancing around, unsure if he had the strength to keep this a secret much longer. "Yeah, just busy with some things," was all he replied. He dropped the phone into his pocket, feeling the weight of his deception pressing down on him. How long could he keep this up? As the days slipped away, the secrecy tugged at him like an anchor. He could feel the threads of their relationship tightening and fraying in equal measure. Jack stepped outside, inhaling the crisp air. The community had really rallied behind him. People from far and wide offered their help, as if the echoes of his past successes resurfaced, reminding him how cherished he had been. He saw the contractor discussing plans with the artist, their hands animatedly pointing and sketching out the finishing touches on the house. Perhaps he could still be a part of their lives, a guiding force instead of a fading ghost. But uncertainty loomed over him like dark storm clouds. Would Emily welcome him back with open arms, or would she feel cornered by this grand gesture, by the shadow of the brother she once knew? He thought of those moments they'd shared, the disappointment in her voice when he shared the news of his bakery-esque collapse, the way her eyes had dulled in response. As night fell, Jack made his way back inside the house, the shadows stretching like fingers around him. He glanced once more at the sparkling countertops, the freshly painted rooms, and felt his resolve solidify. It wouldn't just be a dream home. It would represent a chance for redemption, to right the past, to show Emily that he still believed in them, in family. But each decision, every choice he made from here on out, would pivot on a knife's edge. He needed to know that his sister's heart could withstand this surprise. The final touches loomed ahead, but as he prepped for the reveal, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that fate had her own plans. As he lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, he realized he was at the edge of everything between hope and fear, love and loss. What if he chose the wrong moment to reveal the truth? What if the dream home became a nightmare instead? Just then, an idea sparked in his mind, one that could shift the entire landscape of his relationship with Emily forever. Would he dare to confront the past before offering her this dream? The decision weighed heavily. Could he really take that leap? The morning light spilled into the living room like melted butter, warming the edges of Jack's resolve. Today was the day. He could feel the weight of anticipation in the pit of his stomach, mingled with the flutter of hope. He grabbed his phone, staring at Emily's last message again, and took a deep breath. "Just be honest, Jack," he murmured to himself, gripping the device tightly. The past few weeks had been a whirlwind of efforts and sacrifices, but behind the excitement lay a stubborn anxiety he couldn't shake. If only he could find a way to ease her into the surprise. There had to be a way to communicate that this was not just a house. It was a promise, a commitment to rebuild the world they'd once known. He decided to call her. The faint ring echoed in his ear, and he felt his heart race. "Please pick up," he whispered, his pulse quickening. After a few rings, her voice came on the line, light yet curious. "Hey Jack. You about to spill the beans on whatever secret project you've been up to?" A short laugh escaped him, but it sounded hollow. "Yeah, I need you to come over. I want to show you something. Is it good? Should I be worried?" No, just come by. You might." He hesitated, searching for the right words. "You might even love it." "All right, I'll be there soon." The line went dead, and Jack's breath hitched in his throat. She would be here in a matter of minutes. He rushed around, picking up stray tools and dusting off countertops like a madman. Caught between excitement and terror, he worked quickly but mindlessly, each clatter echoing the internal conflict he faced. When he heard the crunch of gravel in the driveway, he stopped everything. The flurry of activity came to a halt, and he planted himself in the living room, his heart tearing a battle between flight or fight. As Emily stepped in, her face lit up with that familiar energy he had missed so dearly. "Wow, Jack. It smells amazing in here." A rush of warmth flooded his chest, but he didn't let it distract him. "I've been working hard," he said, gesturing to the space around them. The light danced off the fresh colors, filling the room with a welcoming glow. "I can tell. Everything looks new." Her eyes flicked around the room, taking in every detail. Jack noticed the way her brow furrowed slightly, curiosity piquing her interest. I have something to show you," he said, holding his breath. He motioned for her to follow him outside. where the sound of laughter from children echoed in the distance. As they stepped into the backyard, her mouth dropped open. "Jack, this is incredible. I wanted it to be special for you and your kids." He paced toward the newly installed swing set, adorned with bright colors that leaped out against the green grass. "And look, there's plenty of space to play. Wow, I can't believe you did all this, it's so beautiful," she exclaimed with genuine delight. Yet something far deeper remained unspoken between them. Jack knew this was just the beginning of the revelation he had to make. But as he caught her eyes shimmering with happiness, the reality of their past loomed large. "Emily, there's more," he started slowly, his voice wavering. "It's not just what you see, what do you mean? Just let me explain." He felt the weight of his confession gathering in his throat, urgency mingling with the warmth of her joy. As he gathered his thoughts, Jack realized this was no longer just about the house. It was about healing, mending histories that had tied them both down. Would she understand? As doubt flickered across her face, the sparkle of joy fading to questions, Jack took a deep breath for courage. Just then the phone buzzed again in his pocket. It could wait. This was more important. But would she see the love and the struggle behind every nail he drove in? Would she stand by him when he unveiled the truth? The moment felt ripe with potential, poised between the thrill of hope and the fear of rejection. Could he open up without losing her all over again? Jack swallowed hard, trying to shake off the doubts that crept in. He glanced at Emily, who was still processing the backyard. It was as though the colors of the swing set and the fresh grass reflected the warmth he hoped would guide their conversation. But now he needed to convey something much deeper. Bracing himself, he stepped closer to Emily, feeling the distance between them like a tightrope. "Emily, I've been thinking a lot about us, about everything we've been through. And I know it's been a long road." She nodded, but her eyes glistened with uncertainty. "Yeah, it really has. I didn't just want to make this a nice space for you and the kids," he said, taking a deep breath. "I wanted to show you that I can still be the person who fights for what matters, for family and home." He could see her brow furrowing in concentration. "What are you saying, Jack?" Jack ran a hand through his hair, feeling the heat radiate from the sun above. "I took a chance. I bought this house." Her jaw dropped. "You what? You bought it?" The sharp surprise on her face made his heart sink. But he pressed on, wanting to clarify the intent behind his impulsive decision. "I didn't just buy it for myself. It was for you, for the kids, for us, a chance to start fresh where we can be together again." "Jack," she started, but he cut her off, desperation creeping into his voice. "Please let me finish. I've always believed we could create a home, and this place, I thought it could represent that. A new beginning. I wanted you to know that I'm serious. I'm here, ready to build a future together." Silence hung in the air, heavy and thick. Jack watched as the gears turned in her mind. Her gaze drifted to the ground, then back to him, searching for the truth behind his words. Was he really ready to carry that weight? To embrace everything they'd lost and try again? "Sounds amazing, Jack. Really." But she hesitated, words failing her. "Isn't it too soon? You know how things ended between us. I don't want to forget the past, I want to embrace it and learn from it," Jack said urgently. "I see every flaw, every scar, and they only remind me how much you mean to me. I'm still fighting for this." Tears brimmed in her eyes, catching the sunlight and shimmering like fresh dew. "I want this too, but can we really take that leap? What if it doesn't work?" Jack stepped closer, grasping her hands and feeling the warmth of what could be. "What if we don't? I'd rather risk everything for a chance to be happy than wait forever hoping things turn around. I know it'll be hard. Nothing worthwhile is easy, but I need you by my side." Emily bit her lip, caught between doubt and hope. The tension crackled in the air like electricity. Time felt frozen as Jack held his breath, hanging on her next words. Finally, with a deep shaky exhale, she whispered, "I don't know, Jack." Before she could finish, his phone buzzed violently against his pocket again, breaking the spell. She looked down, her expression flickering between curiosity and fear. "Who is it?" she asked, a small crease lining her brow. "I should have turned off my notifications," Jack said, pulling the phone out. But as he glanced at the incoming call, his heart sank. The name on the screen loomed heavy with implications, someone from his past, a voice he didn't want to hear right now. He glanced back at Emily, panic flooding back in. She deserved honesty, but this call felt like the ghost of what he was trying to escape. Would it ruin everything he built in this moment? Emotions spiraled inside him. Would she wait for him to answer? Or would this destroy their chance? As doubt settled back in, he realized he was standing at the edge of another cliff. What would he do next? Answer the call or keep Emily's gaze locked on his? The waiting was unbearable. Jack felt the vibration of the phone against his palm, the name displayed on the screen a stark reminder of the life he thought he had left behind. A tension twisted in his gut. He needed to focus on Emily to keep that moment, that possibility of a future alive. But the call was persistent, urgent. Jack? Her voice pierced through his thoughts, laced with worry. Who is it? He swallowed, wrestling with his conscience. It's someone from work, he lied, trying to mask the truth. He was afraid to admit it was more than that, and that the last thing he needed now was to dive back into his chaotic past. But before he could decide whether or not to answer, the phone buzzed again, the screen lighting up like a warning signal. The name flickered brightly, and a flush of anxiety washed over him. I need to take this. Emily's expression shifted. Jack, wait. Can't it wait? We need to talk. I know, he said, desperation creeping in. But I've got to know what this is about first. It's important. He started to turn away, moving back toward the house, but felt her fingers tighten around his wrist. Their eyes locked, and for a brief moment, the world around them faded. Please don't leave, she said softly, the plea heavy with so many unsaid things. Her words tore at him, and he hesitated. Emily, I'm sorry. He stepped back and swiped to answer the call. Hello, he said, trying to keep his voice level. Jack, it's Sam. We need to talk, came the gravelly voice on the other end. Even the name sent a chill through him. Sam was the last person he wanted to deal with now. About what? He responded cautiously. About the loan. You can't keep avoiding this. There it was, the gnawing reminder of his financial mess. The shadows looming behind him again. Anxiety tightened his chest as Sam continued to speak. Look, you can't be serious about moving on until this is sorted. You need to face it. Jack pressed his lips into a thin line. He could hear Emily shifting behind him, the quiet footsteps amplifying the tension in the space. I'll handle it, Sam. Just give me some time. Time is what you don't have, Sam shot back. You better get it together or you might lose everything. The call ended abruptly, leaving an echo of Sam's words hanging in the air. Jack squeezed the phone, his insides churning. He turned slowly, ready to face Emily, fearing the disappointment that might cloud her face. What was that about? She asked, her voice soft but firm. You look pale. Nothing I can't handle. Yet his own voice faltered. He couldn't hide the tremor. Jack, this matters. Everything matters. I know, he snapped, the frustration bubbling over. But I'm trying. I'm trying to show you that I can be better, that I can give us a chance. And now, he paused, taking a breath. And now I need to figure out how to keep our lives together before anything else can happen. Tears shimmered in her eyes again, and he hated that he was causing this moment of pain. He wanted to be the solution, the hero, the one who could sweep them all into a brighter tomorrow. Jack, she began, but he could see the doubt creeping back into her expression. Just as it had before, he stepped forward, craving her understanding, hoping she would see that he was fighting not just for him, but for them. Just give me a chance, Emily. I promise I'll find a way. As his words hung in the air, an uneasy silence enveloped them. Would she believe him? In a moment, everything felt on the brink again. And as the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows behind them, Jack understood one thing. He needed to confront his past before he could fully embrace the future. The question was how? And would Emily be willing to fight through the confusion with him? Jack's heart raced as he watched Emily's brow furrow, caught between hope and skepticism. Her voice was barely a whisper. What are we going to do, Jack? You can't keep running away from this. Emily, he started, but the words jammed up in his throat. He could see her fear, her uncertainty, and it made his own despair claw at him that he forced himself to step back, to find some space between them. He needed a moment to gather his thoughts, but all he could think of was the nagging weight of his troubles. The dread settled in his chest like ice. Each looming bill, each echo of Sam's voice, spiraled around him until he felt he couldn't breathe. Emily crossed her arms, her body language tightening. You have to face it, Jack. You can't keep pretending everything is fine. I'm not pretending. He raised his voice, frustration spilling out. I'm trying to fix this for us. Don't you see that? The silence between them deepened like a storm gathering. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, but Jack was too wrapped up in his turmoil to reach out. It felt as if the walls were closing in around him. What do you want from me? He demanded, suddenly exhausted. You say you believe in us, but I need you to trust that I can handle this. I trust you, Jack. Her voice was soft, almost a plea. But trusting doesn't mean walking away when things get hard. It means standing together. The rawness of her words hit him like a punch. He wanted to be strong, to be the man she believed he could be. But the reality was suffocating. The thoughts swirled in his mind. The past, the mistakes, that runaway loan he hadn't faced, and Sam. Fine, Jack said, clenching his jaw. I'll meet Sam. I'll deal with the loan. But it's not going to be easy. I haven't seen him in a long time. And I don't know what he'll throw at me. Emily stepped closer, the tension between them shimmering like a taut wire. Whatever it is, we can do it together. She reached out, fingers brushing against his arm. I'm here, Jack. Please don't shut me out. He looked down at her hand, so small and familiar. But in that moment it felt like a lifeline. The warmth from her touch seeped into his cold, anxious heart. It was comforting, a reminder of everything he fought for in the first place. Okay, he breathed, feeling the weight shift slightly. I'll ask to meet. A small smile flickered across her face, the first hint of light he'd seen in what felt like ages. That essay start. Yeah, but there's more. I might need your help preparing for it. I don't know what I'm walking into. Emily nodded, her expression resolute. You don't have to face this alone, Jack. I believe you can turn things around. We'll work on a plan together. Grief twisted in his stomach again. But this time there was also a glimmer of hope, a promise of possibility. As they stood together, he felt the ground beneath them shift, as if a new path was forming, one lined with honesty and shared struggle. Maybe they could emerge stronger from this wreckage. Yet even in that fragile moment of connection, doubt loomed in the corner of his mind. Would Sam really let him walk away this time? And could he truly forgive himself for what he'd done? Are you ready for tomorrow? She asked, gently rubbing his arm. Jack responded with a nod, but uncertainty dripped through him like a slow leak. Looking at Emily, he sought reassurance in her unwavering gaze. She was grounding, yet he felt the gravity of their challenges pulling him down. Together, right? He asked, seeking a reaffirmation that somehow this wouldn't spiral out of control. Always. Her voice was steady, a promise that ignited a flicker of courage in him. Yet, as the night deepened and darkness swallowed the day, the flicker felt so small, just a candle struggling against the wind. Jack couldn't shake the feeling that this confrontation would either lead to redemption or to a landslide of chaos that could ruin them both. The thought of facing Sam tomorrow weighed heavily upon him. Would their future truly stand a chance? As night fell into an uneasy silence, Jack couldn't help but wonder what awaited them in the light of day. The sun rose slowly, spilling golden light through the window. Jack lay awake, staring at the ceiling, every second dragging like a weight on his chest. It felt surreal, almost like the calm before a storm. Today could alter everything, the future he and Emily had envisioned, or the complete unraveling of what they'd built. He glanced at Emily, still asleep beside him. Her face was peaceful, framed by tousled hair. And for a moment, he let the warmth of her presence soothe his frayed nerves. She believed in him. That belief was a lifebuoy in the raging sea of his doubts. But as he quietly left the bed, the reminder of what lay ahead crashed down upon him again. Jack tiptoed into the kitchen, every creak of the floorboard echoing his trepidation. He needed coffee, a lot of it. As the smell wafted through the air, he caught a glimpse out the window. The world looked bright and new, yet he felt encased in shadows. The gravity of his situation felt heavier than ever. Minutes later, with a mug in hand, he sat at the kitchen table. Thoughts raced through his mind. The call he had to make to Sam, how he'd get the words out without choking, the crushing sense of impending doom. He rubbed his temples, trying to ease the storm brewing inside. What if Sam wouldn't budge? What if everything spiraled out of control? Hey, Emily's voice pulled him from his thoughts like a hand reaching through murky water. She came in, her eyes still sleep-filled but focused on him, searching for answers. Hey. His voice cracked slightly. He cleared his throat. I was just thinking. About today? She asked softly. Yeah. I don't know if I can face him. The admission tumbled out raw and vulnerable. Emily moved closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. You can, Jack. You've come this far. Just take it a step at a time. Step by step, he echoed absently, wishing he could anchor himself on those words. As time passed, they formulated a plan together. They made notes and discussed possible scenarios. With each idea Emily listed, hope kindled in Jack's heart, lighting the way toward a path he thought was obscured. But when the clock struck noon, a wave of panic washed over him. I should call him, he muttered, heart racing. Do you want me to dial? Emily offered, her voice steady, but he could see the edge of anxiety in her eyes too. No, he shook his head, just me. He grabbed his phone with trembling hands, the screen reflecting a depth of emotion he felt. He took a deep breath and hit dial, the ringing tone echoing louder in the quiet kitchen than he expected. Each ring felt like a countdown, a ticking clock urging him to brace for impact. Then on the third ring Sam picked up. Well. If it isn't my favorite deadbeat. Sam's voice boomed through the receiver, loaded with sarcasm. Jack hesitated, the heat of shame flooding his face. I want to meet. We need to talk about the loan. The silence on the other end hung heavy. Jack could almost hear the gears turning in Sam's mind, weighing his options, considering his leverage. Sure, Sam finally replied, amusement lacing his tone. How about you come to my place at 3? Okay, Jack replied, fighting to keep his voice steady. See you then. As he hung up, a sickening knot twisted in his stomach. There it was, he was committed. He could almost hear the ominous ticking of a clock, counting down to the meeting that might shatter everything he held dear. You okay? Emily asked, concern flooding her face, her gentle fingers finding his. No. But I will be, he lied, hoping to convince both of them. Remember, you have me, she reminded softly, squeezing his hand. We'll face whatever comes together. Jack nodded, trying to embrace her steady belief in him. But as the clock inched closer to 3, his resolve wavered. Would he truly step into the lion's den? As the afternoon sun bathed their small home in light, Jack couldn't shake the fear that pulsed through him. What would happen when he faced Sam? Would he break under pressure? Or would he finally stand his ground for Emily, their future, and himself? Little did he know the confrontation was just the beginning. The real battle lay in what secrets Sam was hiding, and how those secrets would inevitably tangle with Jack's past. The minutes crawled by. Jack felt like he was in a dream, a nightmare, really, where he was stuck in place, unable to move. Emily remained calm, but her brow was knitted in quiet worry. Each tick of the wall clock felt like a physical blow, accompanying the tightening of his chest. Jack, she said, her voice breaking through the haze of his thoughts. What if you don't have to go alone? He shook his head. No, I have to do this. Sam needs to know this is about me, not us. Emily studied him, her eyes searching for any cracks in his determination. She took a step closer. But you don't have to carry this alone. You know I'm always here for you, right? I know, and I appreciate it more than you realize. He tried to smile, but it felt more like a grimace. But this is something I have to face myself. I need to show him I'm not the same guy he thinks I am. But he still holds all the power. Her voice reflected concern rather than judgment. You can't underestimate what he is capable of. Are you sure you're ready for this? Ready or not, I don't really have a choice. As the clock inched closer to 3, the weight of doubt pressed heavy on him. Images flashed through his mind, past mistakes, embarrassing failures, and the feeling of being trapped in a never-ending cycle. Just a few more minutes, he muttered to himself, trying to keep the fear at bay. What felt like the final hour was broken by the soft jingle of his phone. A text from Sam. I'll be ready for you. Don't keep me waiting. His stomach lurched. Would Sam twist the knife deeper? Would he taunt Jack about the past, about everything that led to this tenuous moment? I'll be fine, he said, perhaps more to himself than to Emily. He stood up, straightening his back, trying to summon the courage he knew he had deep down. Wait. Emily's hand found his again, fingers intertwining. Just remember, whatever happens, it's not an end. It's a stepping stone. I know. He held her gaze a moment longer, finding solace in her strength. Thank you for everything. With one last glance around the apartment, the place he shared with Emily, his safe haven, Jack stepped out into the bright sunlight. A spring day that felt at odds with his heavy heart. Birds chirped cheerfully, oblivious to his internal storm. Driving to Sam's place felt surreal. The streets whizzed past him, and the city buzzed with life, but all Jack could focus on was the thudding of his own heartbeat. With each passing block he recited a silent mantra. Stay calm, stay strong, stay true. Finally he pulled up in front of the familiar building. The hulking edifice loomed over him, a shrine to the financial troubles that had haunted him for so long. As he stepped out of the car, a gust of wind whipped around him, sending a chilling reminder of the fight he was about to undertake. He squared his shoulders, adjusting his shirt and running a hand through his hair. Though the gesture felt pointless, his resolve was to be tested, and no amount of prepping would change that. Taking a deep breath, Jack walked toward the entrance. The building felt both alien and like a second skin, a reminder of past mistakes, yet also a test of how far he had come. With each step he battled the doubts swirling in his mind. Would he break today? Or would he emerge stronger, ready to confront what lay ahead? As he pushed open the door, the sound echoed inside like an ominous bell. And there at the far end of the corridor sat Sam, already waiting, a smirk plastered across his face. Jack's heart raced as he wondered what secret Sam held that could change everything. What was at stake? The showdown had begun, and with it came the potential for revelations that could rock his world to its very core. Jack's stomach twisted as he took in the sight of Sam. The smug expression on Sam's face made Jack's blood boil. Why did he always feel so small in front of him? Sam leaned back in his chair, arms crossed as if he owned the place. Look who finally decided to show up, Sam said, that air of superiority thickening the atmosphere. Thought you'd bail on me. I'm here, Jack replied, his voice stronger than he felt. Let us just get this over with. Sam chuckled, his eyes glinting like a predator preparing to pounce. You sound so eager. Did you really think it would be that easy? Jack took a deep breath, steadying himself. He remembered Emily's words. This was a stepping stone. He had to stand tall. What do you want from me, Sam? What do I want? Sam leaned forward, his expression turning serious. I want you to admit you messed up. You put yourself in this mess and now you're trying to make it right. But you know it's too late for that, right? Jack's heart sank. Sam was digging up his past and it hurt. The blame nagged at him like a weed he couldn't uproot. I made mistakes, yes, but I've learned from them. Sam raised an eyebrow. Learned? Really? You think a few lessons make it all go away? You're still the same guy who couldn't handle his finances, who let everyone down. With each jab it felt like Sam was pulling him back into that dark pit he fought so hard to escape. The echo of Sam's words stung more than he expected. How could he prove he was more than his past? Stop, Jack said, shock pushing the words out. You have no idea the fight I've put in since then. Oh please. Spare me the inspirational speech, Sam scoffed, dismissing him with a wave. Let me guess, you're planning to turn it all around in a month and become the hero? That felt like a punch to the gut. Jack clenched his fists. I'm not asking for your approval. I'm here because I need to take responsibility. For myself. Responsibility? Sam laughed, a cruel sound in the sterile hallway. You think that's enough? The people around you will always see you as the screw-up, Jack. You should face it. With every word, the weight of Sam's judgment pressed harder on him. The confidence he had built up crumbled. Why are you so hell-bent on reminding me of my failures? Jack shouted, the intensity surprising even him. Sam's eyes narrowed, but Jack could smell the shift. Because someone has to. You think you can redeem yourself? You think anyone cares? You're wrong. For a second it felt like everything around Jack blurred. The hallway closed in, echoing their argument. But a flicker of determination ignited deep within him. Maybe I'm not just fighting for myself anymore. Sam shook his head, smirking again. Who else is there for you, Jack? You're all alone in this. Jack took a step, closing the distance, feeling the fire in his belly. No. I have Emily. She has been my anchor. I'm not as alone as you think. Sam's expression faltered, and for a brief moment, uncertainty crossed his face. Jack realized the power he held not just from his growth, but from the support he chose to accept. Emily? Sam scoffed, though this time it lacked conviction. You really believe that she can fix you? I believe she can help me be better, Jack asserted, standing his ground. And I'm ready to prove that, even to you. Sam's smirk faded. The tension thickened, and Jack felt the weight of the moment. This was more than just a confrontation, it was a pivotal moment. Fine, Sam said, leaning back, his tone shifting. Show me what you've got. As they faced off, Jack's heart thundered in his chest. He was at a crossroads, but for the first time he felt like he had a shot to reclaim his narrative. The stakes had never been higher, and now was the time to rise above the shadows of his past. But what if Sam had a card to play that could change everything? And in that charged atmosphere, Jack braced for whatever revelations lay ahead. Jack stood firm, heart pounding heavily in his chest. It was the moment he had both dreaded and prepared for. A showdown with the man who held the keys to his past and present. Sam, with his trademark smugness, leaned back, hands resting casually behind his head, as if he were watching a play unfold rather than being part of it. So, you think talking about your sister will save you? Sam taunted, the words dripping with sarcasm. What exactly is it you plan to do? Convince me that you're worthy of another chance? I'm here to do more than talk, Jack replied, trying to rally his composure. I'm ready to face my mistakes. That flicker of determination within him blazed brighter. He clenched his fists, feeling empowered by thoughts of Emily and the dreams they were fighting for. Sam shrugged, a smirk dancing at the corners of his mouth. This is a game, Jack. And you didn't even prepare for the rules. The glee in Sam's eyes made Jack's stomach twist. You think just because you've spent some time working on a house and charming a few neighbors that changes anything? Something in Jack snapped. This isn't a game. He shouted, the raw emotion exploding from him like a burst dam. These are real lives, real stakes. It felt good to let the words fly free, to rediscover his strength right in the face of Sam's cynicism. What are you going to do? Run back to your sister, tell her how you fought the good fight? Sam's voice dripped with mockery. She won to shield you from your reality. Jack took a breath, grounding himself amid the chaos. I'm fighting for more than myself. I'm fighting for a life that gives Emily and her kids hope. I refuse to let you drag me down any longer. The conviction in his voice echoed in the silence, and for the first time doubt flickered on Sam's face. Hope? Sam sneered, but the bravado was thinning. What does that even mean to you? It means the strength to move forward instead of running away from the past, Jack said. I may have fallen, but I'm not broken. I have a sister who believes in me, who deserves a better brother. You don't know what it's like to fight for someone you love. As if I'd ever care to, Sam spat back, but Jack noticed how his grip on the chair had tightened. A sign that he was feeling the pressure. Jack stepped closer. You're wrong, Sam. I'm done letting people like you define who I am. I'm ready to face the consequences of my actions. Bankrupt or not, I can't reclaim my life without confronting the past. I owe it to myself and I owe it to Emily. The tension hung thick, silence shimmering between them. Jack could feel each heartbeat resonating with a new sense of purpose, sharper than any blade. He had brought his past into the light, and it finally felt like he could breathe. Sam's eyes narrowed, realization dawning on him. You think just saying these things means you'll win? Doesn't he work like that? Then what does it take? Jack challenged. Fear? Regret? I've lived with those chains long enough. He pointed at Sam, standing taller. But I'm ready to break free. Their eyes locked, a storm brewing within the charged air. If this was a game, then Jack had just changed the rules. A shift crackled, the moment felt electric. Fine, Sam relented, his voice a low growl. If you think you can handle it, let us put that to the test. Here's the deal. You'll have a month. Prove that you can claw your way out of this mess on your own. Otherwise, the loan defaults and you lose everything. Jack swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the ultimatum. Fine. A month, he agreed, voice steady despite the fear churning within. But I'm not afraid anymore. I'm ready to take control of my life. Better keep that spirit, Jack, Sam retorted, annoyance leaking through. Because in the world we live in, it's sink or swim. With that, Jack turned and walked out of the building, breathing in the crisp air as if he'd been plunged into cold water. He had faced Sam, confronted his fears, and negotiated the terms of his redemption. This was just the beginning. As he stepped into the sunlight, it felt brighter, the possibilities ahead. Shining with renewed hope, Jack pulled his phone from his pocket, thumb hovering over Emily's name. He needed to share this victory with her, to let her know they were truly in this together. With each step toward the driveway, he imagined the home they would build, the laughter that would fill the rooms, and the love that would stitch the fabric of their family back together. He could already picture Emily's face lighting up with joy, their children playing games in the yard. Jack dialed Emily as he headed toward the car, his heart racing with urgency. "Hey," he said when she picked up, voice filled with promise. You wouldn't believe what just happened. As he spoke, the worries that had shadowed him ebbed, replaced by a buoyancy he hadn't felt in a long time. In this moment he wasn't just fighting for a dream home, he was rebuilding their lives, one joyful step at a time, together. Now is the moment. If you want to be part of Jack and Emily's inspiring journey, you need to subscribe now to the channel. Don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like right now to help feed the algorithm and support this journey. Comment how this ending made you feel and what moment touched your heart the most. And share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. This is how we grow together as a community.